In this video, I'm going to answer some questions I've been getting about Horde Raids. First of all, you get to the screen by clicking here, and then here's where you intercept raids. You click on the raid, and then you want to match up the advisor power you put in into the power that's here. I've already intercepted a lot, so I can't really do that. Like, I've only got 1.5 million guys to put in. That'll give me 4.6 million, which isn't anywhere near 60 million, so this isn't really very efficient. You want to match up the power of your advisors to the power of the raid to get efficient raids. That's when you're intercepting enemy raids on this screen. And they will only appear here occasionally, so you have to come back and check. This one's going to be gone soon. I already hit it once. And here's where you launch your own raids. So that was the interception button down there, and here's where you launch your own. Now most of these have finished already. They finished with enough squad power in it to completely finish the raid. That means you get the qualified squad power award, which are these. And then these rewards get divided up proportionately to how much power you put in. And it's up to your horde how you want to do it, but how it's typically done is you try to make sure everyone in the horde can join the raid before it's full. Once there's enough power in the raid to cross this threshold here, it will be finished and nobody else can join. So I can't join any of these. I'll get another chance to join them tomorrow. The only one that hasn't launched yet is this one. So it's been started, meaning it's going, it's exploring, and raids can only be started by somebody who's a Horde Elite, Horde Champion, or the Horde Leader. Regular members can only join them, they can't start them. So this one was started today already, and I've already joined it once, meaning to add another advisor I would have to use a seal. So adding another, I don't want to do that because it's not worth it to use a seal to add another weak advisor, so I'm not going to do that. But that's how you join, and if we were to add enough to fill this up to 1.5 billion, which we're not going to be able to, then it would launch. And once it's launched, nobody else can join. And you can actually see them out here on the map, heading out. So when this has enough power, it would finish, it would come back, and while it's coming back, enemies can hit it. When I first started the game, I didn't want to believe that the game was imbalanced. I wanted to believe that, each advisor was probably worth building in some way. But unfortunately, that's not actually true. So there's different classes of advisors, and the class that's by far the best is the fighter, because they got the most of the strength stat. The reason why the strength stat is the best is because it just scales the best into the late game. It helps things like horde battle, attacking the beast, etc., whereas the other stats are pretty much only good for earning income out of villages, which matters less and less and less the longer the game goes on, because you have less use for silver as the game goes on, less use for meat. Just the strength stat is the best, and you can tell by the little trident. Those are the guys you want to build. So you want to build Sub as your first guy. Kuba is pretty garbage because he's just the wrong class, and as you keep building him into the late game, you'll start to wish you hadn't put anything into him because the returns just aren't as good as the Arrow Sub. I'm kind of stuck building Kuba for now because I don't have another fighter that I want to build yet. But I really wish now, looking back, that I'd gone with Sub, because unfortunately the game is imbalanced. The fighters are just the best. Another one that's really a good idea to main if you can is Tamirius. She's a queen fighter. Another really good one is Hootlan, however you pronounce that. She's also a queen fighter. And then if you can eventually get him, Kenrock is great because he's the only red fighter in the game right now. They might add more later, but for right now he's like the best advisor in the game if you can get him. If I had to rank the classes, I would say fighters are the best. Hunters are second best because at least they can help you win meat rushes and you can use an infinite amount of meat on your villages, and also their secondary stats strength. So if you can't main a fighter, this next best would be the hunter. And third best would probably be mentor, which is what Kuba is. And then these traders are kind of like garbage because all they really do is help you earn silver, and by the time you get into the late game, you're not going to be able to use all your silver anyway. I want to talk about rushes a little bit. In my earlier guides, I talked about using all the resources you have as soon as possible to get the benefit of compounding, and that's true for like maybe the first 3 weeks or maybe the first month that you play the game. But after the cross-server rushes pop up, there's more rushes that you can get rewards from, so pooling up becomes the best thing to do. Even if you're in a server that has a lot of high spenders who are going to win the rushes, you can still pool up, skip one rush, keep pooling, and then win the next rush. So it's best to save up your stuff always. Then when it comes to actually spending all the stuff that you're gathering, you want to be doing a ton of hoarding in the late game. You're hoarding for your rushes, and you're hoarding for your late game goals. Like for example, originally I was planning on hoarding up for Tomo, I was going to unlock her, but it's just been taking way too long, and I've been finding that I'm actually unlocking Ken at a fairly decent rate now, so I'm considering switching over. And that has a lot of implications, because if I'm going to switch over to building Ken instead of Tomoe, then I should be starring up the advisors in Ken's collections instead of the ones in hers. And I've got all these summon seals pooled up because there's no summon seal milestone active right now. I save them for the milestones and use them then to get the extra rewards. I've got all this talent saved up because it's just not worth giving it to Kuba, and I haven't unlocked the fighter I want to build yet. And then another example is I saved up a ton of diamonds for Trade Hunt, and I've been using it on Trade Hunt because I'm trying to unlock her. It's because eventually I want one of my queens to be one of my strongest advisors, so I'm not even planning on building her, I just want her to make the queen collection stronger. So I've got 4 out of the 5 jade stones needed now, and that took like 45,000 diamonds, which is a huge amount. It took like 2 months saving up diamonds to get that many. So my point is that saving up for long-term goals and saving up for rushes is really what the late game is all about, because if you don't do that, you're not going to efficiently get stronger as well. And that concludes the video. Thanks for watching.